So thank you all for coming. So today, let me share my screen. Get my presentation going. And what we're going to do is I want to review just some of the feedback and questions that you may have had while we were kind of going through the content. So share that screen. Boom. Alrighty. So hopefully all can see that. So today is going to be a much more practical session, but what I want to do is go through the agenda, make sure we kind of reflect on what we may have learned in the last session, and then the goal for today is to really start thinking of the copy, the detail page, some of the content that customers are going to see when we actually create the listings. Okay, and all this can be done offline. We don't have to have our actual Seller Central and whatnot open, but the goal here is to start thinking about that. And there's some key ways in which we lay out content that we're going to go through to make sure that that's clear for everyone. And then we'll break out into separate little breakout rooms, and I'll be hopping through to kind of see progress you're making and answer any questions, etc. If there's any, like, I know there's a bunch of questions about ads and what have you, and we'll cover some of that now, but it's probably best to do deep dive on ads, because I know there was some questions last time, just in that 1 hour session, right? Like, get that booked, we can go through it, and in an hour, there's a lot we can cover when it comes to what's going on there, okay? So the agenda for today, I want to make sure we cover any lingering questions, anything that's still kind of, hey, I was thinking about it, I was going through some stuff, I know life gets in the way, that's totally fine, but if you have any questions you want to bring up here, please do so, or we can cover it in the next, in the kind of one-on-one that I'll be hopping through the different rooms to help out, okay? But I do want to go through 3 listings on the platform and just see kind of, go through this thing. What are they selling? Why should we choose their product? And who else could we consider to purchase? Because that's something that Amazon does through the detail page, is they don't care what they sell so long as they sell. So on that detail page, it's critical that we catch that customer's attention and have them buy our stuff rather than scrolling through all the other ads that are showing up on that page. Okay, so really important that we do that. And we'll go through some examples. And then we're going to create detail page content. Okay, so I've got spreadsheets. I've sent it out. I believe Yulia's made sure to forward those to you. And we want to look at best practices for bullets and titles and just how we can organize imagery to persuade customers to buy our product. Okay, remember, most customers these days have the attention span of a goldfish. I know it was Prime Deal days the last 2 days, and I scrolled through a lot of products, and partly competitive wise, looking at what discounts and whatnot that they're offering, but it's just kind of seeing what's out there, and it's that shopping browsing thing that Amazon's getting a lot better at. Okay, and we'll take a look at some of the photos and lifestyle stuff that you may have. For those of you who have products today that are looking at bringing those out to the marketplace, then we can take a look at the photos that you do have, and then see how we can put them into a story, because that's really what we're trying to do, is we're creating a story for customers. Okay, so questions from last session. There were 2 that I prepared some stuff on. One was ads and one was digital products, because I know there were some questions about both of those things. But were there any other questions or thoughts that you wanted to share just before we kind of dive into the 2 that I prepared already? Okay, so we nailed it last time. That's good. I'm happy that I was able to do that for you. And we can obviously go through any questions that you may have. in our sessions, etc. And again, for those of you who have not booked the one-on-one, as Yulia mentioned, let's get that booked. By the 20th, even if it has to be in November, that's fine. Just book the slot. You have my booking link in the chat, and just enter. Find a slot that's going to work for you. Slight time zone difference with the 1 hour, but should be good. Right? So there were two that I did prepare, and I thought the first one is applicable to everyone here, because Amazon is now a pay-to-play platform, which means you have to do advertising. You are not going to win if you do not advertise. So I like to say advertising can be an expensive education, okay? And over the last 8 years that I've been kind of working through the Amazon platform, it has changed dramatically. And you have all these new placements you can get, richer content, video content, and even the targeting mechanisms that they have. There's lots of things that are there that are different than other platforms. And there's a lot that's the same as other platforms, okay? But when we look at this idea of advertising, I put the conversion funnel here, and it goes from awareness to consideration to conversion. But then you have loyalty, those repeat buyers, advocacy, where you're telling friends to buy that product. It's awesome, okay? And that is obviously where we want to get to, okay? But at the end of the day, we have to work our way through that funnel. And what I tell people is Amazon is an amazing conversion funnel, okay? So the bottom of the funnel there, they're great because the way that they target. The way they target is product-based. I'm looking for monk fruit sweetener, okay? Well, I have this here. Monk fruit sweetener. So I'm looking for monk fruit sweetener. I can find it, okay? If I look for alternative sweetening products, I'm going to see lots of stuff, but that type of search is not so much an Amazon search, more so than a Google search, okay? A lot of people are going to go on Google for that problem search, as we mentioned last time, and they go for a product search on Amazon, okay? And then awareness would be alternative ways to sweeten my coffee, how to bake without using sugar. Like those would be just kind of awareness things that we're looking at. And you can even go further down the aisle into I'm looking for flour, and I'm looking for baking ingredients. Well, maybe you'd consider my alternative to regular sugar rather than just buying a bag of sugar. All right. So when we're focused here, before we can advertise, we mentioned last time this idea of profitability. It is critically important you know your profitability, because if we don't know how much money we're making or losing, when we try to advertise, we're going to just break the business model. So it's incredibly important that we know that profitability and we keep on top of it. When I'm selling products that are, $20 and below, it's nickels. You need to know right down to the nickels, because again, those changes in whether it's a shipping surcharge that Amazon went through with their extra 5% because of gas prices, et cetera, those had impacts. Okay, so it's important you know that profitability. Now, tacos, okay, total advertising cost of sale is the most important metric. Okay, your money you spend on ads is going to drive the ROAS, the return on ad spend, or the inverse of that, which is ACoS, advertising cost of sale. And what that measures is for the ad sales alone, what kind of return do you have on your budget? But as I mentioned last time, in advertising, you have ad sales and ad rankings, but a sale there also raises your organic ranking. Okay, so again, monk fruit sweetener liquid. I'm going to have a sale on that, which is going to improve my advertising metrics. That's also going to raise me up organically for that keyword, plus all the other keywords that Amazon considers me for. Okay. And so the way we get this is we have our total ad spend. Let's say we spent $500 and we sold $5,000 of product, then my tacos is 10%. Okay, and that's kind of where we want to be, 10%-ish. Okay. Now, when we do ads, you want to segment our approach into these areas: awareness. We use auto campaigns. Okay, and auto campaigns are things that Amazon looks at your pages and says, oh, you must be this. And then it just starts serving ads all over the place to see down the aisle, again, in that specific section of the grocery store or whatever we're selling, down the aisle as well. But it's going to do a bunch of work for you. And you want to make sure you're managing your budgets here properly. Okay. Consideration, competitive brand names, right? So again, we'll look at my monk fruit sweetener here. Lakanto is a big, brand name that people would buy for monk fruit, erythritol, all those types of alternative products. Okay, and so we're going to put those into our consideration campaigns, put a different budget on those, because we're going after brands where we can steal a sale and hopefully build loyalty and advocacy, but we also have to be managing and understand our profitability. Okay. Excuse me. And then conversion are our own branded keywords, because what we want to make sure is that if somebody goes to Amazon and types in Sweet Monk, we want to make it really easy for them to purchase. Okay. And there's conflicting schools of thoughts on this. I'm a big advocate of blocking campaigns where I will bid against my brand to make sure that customers don't see other people's products, right? There's this thing on Amazon called Page 2. I'm not sure if you've seen it before. Not many people have. And so we want to make sure we're one, and we're showing up very prominently to make it easy for customers to see our product, recognize the product, and just buy the product. And if it costs me $1 for that click and they converted, I'm fine with it, because we know our profitability and we're tracking that tacos. Okay. Other items we may well look at are longer tail, lower competitive keywords. So monk fruit sweetener liquid 100 ml, right? There are people who search that specific, and I want to make sure I hit that and I search and I show up prominently for it. Okay. So when we look at our ad strategy, it's important that we really segment our approach. Otherwise, you will just lose a lot of money. Okay. If I bid $1 a click for down the aisle type campaigns, I'm spending a lot of money to get eyeballs, but not necessarily converting eyeballs. Right. And this is usually the area that I see the biggest problems with people's ad campaigns is they're using kind of a one size fits all approach to bidding. Okay. And the last one that I had prepared here was kinds of digital products you can sell on Amazon. So, books, music. Okay. So physical and digital books can be sold via Kindle Direct Publishing with print on demand. Okay. So I've put some links in here. Again, they should work through the PDF. If not, just let me know and I'll happily send them to you. Where we create our book, and then we can use print on demand for it to be printed through, I think Ingram Printing does that for Amazon. And so the quality is quite good. Okay. Now, there's a 60% royalty rate that you have of books. If we get into something called KDP, the Kindle Direct Publishing, with the read-through metrics, it's 0.4 of a cent per page, even though there's messaging right now that they're looking to lower that payback on that, so it's going to affect some of the payments there. Okay. Music. So Amazon offers TuneCore, which is part of Amazon Music, and this allows you to essentially, it's an aggregation site that they've created. to serve it across Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, all these other places that allows you to get that music out there. And there's information on TuneCore in terms of what that looks like. So if you're a musician and you want to share your music more broadly, there's other aggregation sites that will allow you to kind of post it in many places. What I saw, with TuneCore, it's doing digital music isn't something that I focus on, but there's certainly for I think $3 a month or something like that, you get access to quite a lot of tools out there. Right. And then art. So this is one I know somebody mentioned last time. So Amazon Merch is the platform, and what it is about putting your art onto things. Okay, so we're not selling digital art directly. Okay, what they're doing is they're saying, here's my coffee cup, put your design on the coffee cup, put it on t-shirts. Okay, and these print-on-demand businesses for t-shirts and things, all the rage, maybe 5 to 10 years ago. Can still make some money doing it if you do it right in terms of your ad strategy for other digital channels. But at this point, this is the art opportunity when it comes to that, but not the digital art. Okay. If you have handmade products that are art, then you can absolutely sell those. They're physical products, though. This art thing was more around the digital product side that I believe was mentioned before. Okay. Amazon's not doing video games and the like in terms of like a Steam platform that's out there that I'm sure I know my kids are on all the time, and I'm sure others are, but they don't do that. Okay. All right. So hopefully that helps in terms of answering some of the questions I know people had last time. Now, what I want to do is go through some Amazon pages. Okay. So I'm going to this link. Okay. So I want to put this over here. So I'm hoping you see the Amazon detail page for my Chrome browser. Okay. So I thought I would, given the time of year, we'll look at Halloween decorations. Okay. I think I will. My page has a lot of little plugins. So let's do this. Okay. I was looking for some stuff during Prime Day. Perfecto. Okay. So what we have here is some Halloween decorations. There's a lot of information on this page that can be somewhat overwhelming. Title, bullets, okay. The buy box, we talked about that last time. All their images, and then videos, okay. So they have a bunch of videos to show how it works, right? Ads, if I hover over here, this ad pops out, right? Pretty powerful. Another ad, more ads, more. A+ content, okay, so they're brand registered, and they've put all their little YBYs here. Lifestyle images. A lot going on. Another ad. More ads. Customer reviews. And here's an ad from TD Bank, of all things, on there as well. Okay. You've got The reviews, 81% of them are 5-star, with a bunch of, kind of dribs and drabs coming through. Generally, very good product. Okay. So what we want to think about with this is saying, okay, what are they selling? Right? So they're selling flickering light bulbs for Halloween, right? The main image, that first image you're going to see. Okay. They're Amazon's choice for something called flame lights. This then builds trust. Amazon's choice highlights highly rated, well-priced products available to ship immediately. Right? What Amazon is saying is, hey, people who search for flame lights, buy this product. Right? And we haven't talked about how many people search for flame lights. No idea. Right? But they're saying if you search for flame lights, people buy this product. And I'll tell you, I did not search for flame lights. I think I looked for Halloween decorations. Okay. So what we have here is their title. Halloween decorations is definitely a keyword, obviously very seasonal. They tell me, how long is this thing? Flickering flame light, string lights, outdoors, indoors. Okay. Keyword stuffing. C7 retro twinkle flame lights with string with 10 flame light bulbs. E12 bulbs, black. Okay. I'm assuming C7 has some kind of connotation in terms of size of socket or the like, or it could even be the design of the bulb itself. Right. Now over here, this is available from Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon. Ships from, sold by Bow Toys. Okay, so Bow Toys is the person who's selling this product right now, and it looks like they're the only people selling this product. So this is something called private label, where they're the ones who've made it and they're shipping it. And so most likely this is a factory in Asia somewhere that is selling directly on Amazon their products. Okay. We have, I believe we talked the last time about parents and children. If not, I'll go through it here. I have the parent, which is the whole page. And I have 2 children, 12.8 feet, 27.8 feet. Okay. So now customers who are here can choose which one they want without having to leave the page. Okay. Very common with different lengths, different colors. If they had, for example, a white instead of black cable, like you see that sometimes with Christmas decorations, green, right? So that all would be different children because they're all kind of under the same thing. And then the lights themselves. Okay. Now, I would not recommend this as a great first image for customers because it's kind of in a basket on some newspaper. But this one here is an okay one. Right. Now, imagery. What do people worry about? Okay. What somebody worries about is how long is it? What's the distance between? How big are the bulbs? Right. So as a regular consumer myself, these are things I'm thinking about. And then they have their UL listed. Okay. Not a lot of people know what UL means, but there are people who recognize it from other power electronics that they have. And it's a safety certification. Okay. But because I've seen this, I know what it is, but because most customers see this on other electronics they may have, a power adapter that came with something, et cetera, then it's about building trust. Right? It tells me I get two spare bulbs. Here's that C7 E12 base, again, that it fits into whatever sockets. How many bulbs it comes across with, 12 inches between, 39.5 inches to the first one, 6 inches to the last one. Right. Optimization and upgrading. So here's us versus the old version that we had. Used to be a shorter wick, easily not lighting up, frequent change of bulbs. So they're kind of saying our older version wasn't that great, but trust us now. So kind of strange messaging, not one I would necessarily go through. But now they're saying the new version has a longer wick, continuous light, 1,500 hours of life. Okay, and so we can make some decisions if this is something I'm interested in. Right? And then I go through some lifestyle images because people are going to want to know, what does it look like? These are kind of extraneous, of course, more super lifestyle, where you'd use it. And then flickering flame string lights for Halloween, Christmas. Okay, so this is a dead ringer for typically China direct from the factory, based upon just some of that not knowing kind of what they're selling into. Okay, so I've got $29.99, apply $3 coupon. Amazon says, hey, buy it. You get 30 days to return this thing anyway. So buy it, return it, just buy it. So see here, my ad, another ad. So when I look at the product, what are they selling? Halloween decorations, flickering lights specifically. Why should we choose their product offer? Right? Well, the reason we should choose their product offer is, price, Amazon's choice, has the distance between that I care about, right? What is that? And then who else could we consider purchasing, right? And that's, again, down the aisle. Other lights, sponsored products, specifically looking at other types of Halloween lights. More lights, down the aisle stuff. Okay. So that's kind of the breakdown of the detail page. Okay. Are there any questions about kind of that walkthrough of the detail page that you want to ask now before I hit the next one? Yeah.
Yes, I have a question before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
The front image that you showed, the product image, it's not on a white background. It's got like out of focus background. So obviously, because it's being displayed and offered for sale, that's also an acceptable format.
I'm glad you mentioned that because it is totally not. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon is consistently inconsistent. And so people will launch products with that background, and Amazon may or may not detect it, and they may or may not let it go through. So my recommendation is always to have it on a white background so that Friday at 4 p.m., they don't shut her down on you. Okay, especially when you're a seasonal product. So I would absolutely not recommend that it be on any kind of background like that. And same with this version here, same thing. Again, not recommended that it's on anything but a white background. So great question. Right. Okay. There's a question in the chat. Which software is best to do product research in Canada? So Helium 10 is what I use. Teikametrics is an ad software. Okay, it's not really a product research software. I use Helium 10. You can also use Jungle Scout. is another one of those premium tools out there to do product research. Okay. Now, the difference between Amazon's Choice and Amazon bestsellers. So, great question. Amazon's Choice is when somebody searches for a keyword, you're the one that gets picked most likely for that purchase. Okay. Bestseller is inside the category. There's a bestseller list. And so this is the bestseller right now. This gets updated every 15 minutes or so. And that's where that bestseller badge will be on the main search page. Okay, so if I do a search for outdoor lights, right? So that bestseller, that's the one that was the bestseller on that that list. Okay, so this bestseller is a bestseller in landscape path lights. Okay, this is where again Amazon is trying to bestseller. I'm kind of confused, right? They're saying outdoor lights. We know this is the bestseller from what we just saw, and this is the bestseller for landscape path lights. Right? Bestseller in porch wall lights, right? And the reason they're showing this is because outdoor lights is kind of top of funnel, right? And then Amazon's Choice for outdoor lights. This is what people buy when they search for outdoor lights specifically. Okay, so I'm going to present some items, okay, in some different categories, all related to outdoor lights though. Okay, there's another bestseller in outdoor security lighting. Landscape spotlights. Right? Okay. So here's one we look at. Clear background, turkey baster, right? Just had Thanksgiving. Now, what are they selling? A turkey baster. Now, what's interesting about this is you'll notice their title is pretty short. Their bullets pretty short, right? And the reason they can do this is because of that. The brand. This brand is in every Walmart, Sobeys, wherever you're looking for this type of thing, it's there. And so people recognize the brand. And so I can be, frankly, kind of lazy, right? Because I already trust the brand. So this is okay, right? The title, OXO Good Grips Angled Turkey Baster with cleaning brush, clear black. They're selling an angled turkey baster. And that's really the only keyword that they're really going after is this whole turkey baster thing. And they're going to just dominate that because there's going to be a lot of click conversion stuff going on. Right? Now they have some pictures showing different sizes, what you get with it. This is totally on terms of service. It's fine. And they have some videos as well. Okay. Now we think of who else could we consider? Well, first off, there's a meat injectors for smoking, right? There's a whole bunch of other advertised products against this guy. Okay. But then we look at payment, and this is ships and sold by Amazon. So there's that thing called vendor that we talked about last time, where I'm selling my product to Amazon. Amazon is then selling it as I would have any other retail engagement. Okay. And so that's the tool set that they have to say, I'm going to buy that. But there are 7 other people who are also selling this product. they're going to be third-party sellers, like most of us are, to list our product, have Amazon fulfill it perhaps, or just have it ship through whatever. If I have a store, for example, that I sell these turkey basters, and now I also sell it on Amazon, I can merchant fulfill that as well. Okay. But when Amazon is selling that product, as much as they say they don't have their thumb on the scale, I think they may have their thumb on the scale a little bit. So most people don't sell against Amazon because even at the same price, they're going to get 60% of the buy box over time anyway. All right. And lastly, non-alcoholic gin, right? It's all the craze. Like you've heard, Sobri and other types of products like that. Even in the liquor stores and stuff, they're having sections of the non-alcoholic products as well because of the growth of the sector. And so here's one that they are doing a much better job than we saw with the OXO guy here, putting more effort into their title and more effort into bullets. Okay. And again, even this bolding is hit or miss to get that. Okay. It's light HTML. Sometimes Amazon lets it go through and sometimes don't. Right. I think part of it, frankly, is they're A/B testing on sellers to see if they even know they can do it. Okay. But you look here, ratings 3.7. Right. A good product on Amazon is 4 stars and above. A bad product on Amazon is anything below that. Okay. So when I have a product that's 3.7 stars, I'm going, okay, how do I get that up? How do I look at the reviews to see what's driving it down? And the biggest challenge in this category is people going, it's not quite right yet. Right? Non-alcoholic gin, it's not there. I'm a gin connoisseur and I'm trying this. And so if you look at some of the reviews on these products, it's somebody who's, trying to taste test and provide their more sommelier type experience. And these products aren't necessarily there yet. Right? If you're going to mix this gin into a tonic, the tonic's probably going to take over most of the taste anyway, and you'll be fine. Right? So white background, clear image, some videos, some lifestyle stuff, right? And this is ships from Amazon, sold by them. This is a classic seller approach using Amazon's fulfillment power. Okay. Then we think of who else we can actually buy. Let's take a look here. Right. We have a little coupon going on. Here's Seedlip Garden. They're selling a non-alcoholic spirit of some kind. Same price. Non-alcoholic, low calorie. Bunch of different configurations of this Seedlip. So Corona. Right. And so all these, again, non-alcoholic spirits and beers that are available on Amazon. We can't sell alcohol in Amazon Canada. In Amazon.com, you've got to go through the Amazon as a vendor to sell that stuff. Okay. From the brand, a lot of great content as they're trying to build all about kind of what they are. This is pretty classic CPG marketing. And they even give some recipes. Okay, and here's their ESG statement, 1% for the planet. Right. So as we look at the different products I have, you can even see in the reviews, no juniper flavor to be found, not impressed, very disappointed, tastes nothing like gin, right? What's that floating in the bottle? Maybe they bought the tequila, I don't know. But yeah, end of the day, 17 total ratings with 14 reviews at 1 star, right? So kind of, I wanted to make sure you had a kind of a tour of the product, of the phages across a few different categories, okay? There's some seasonality, of course, but also looking at, the product here. They've done a good job, right? To use this point, they've done a good job. And I think the reason it doesn't have the best reviews per se is the product itself is just not meeting what gin drinkers expect, right? So even good marketing can't necessarily get through the doesn't taste the way I expected it to, right? And that's always the challenge when you're doing this, like these type of new emerging categories, is the non-alcoholic stuff. I've been at CHFA last couple of years, and you've seen it evolve. Where before, tasted like, I don't know, bad gasoline, and it's now it doesn't taste that bad, but it's still not what I would normally buy at the liquor store, right? And so that's part of the challenge in these new emerging categories. Okay, so hoping that helps. What I want to do there's a couple of resources that I provided. Okay, and I'll give you a quick walkthrough. So there's the product creation template, and there is the onboarding information form. So I'll open those up. Just do a quick walkthrough of those. Okay. Okay. So this is the onboarding form that I think may not have gone out last time, but it's okay. We can easily go through it. So this is the onboarding form that, and we've created, we use. It's always evolving as Amazon adds new things, new requirements, what have you. Okay. So what we're looking for is what's your brand, who's your manufacturer, and where else can we buy? Okay. Now, I've run into this a few times where if somebody's ever tried to set you up on Amazon previously, or you've tried and couldn't get through, you didn't have the secret handshake at the door, that it's important to know that so that when we try to get you set up, we have that data point. Okay. Any trademark infringements? A lot of times there's people who have trademarks that they're sharing trademarks. I'm in this one, I'm not in this category, I'm not in that category. And so those details are important. And then coexistence agreements in markets and such. Okay. Other websites your product's being sold. This is important. So if you're on, again, well.ca or Healthy Planet or whatever, then it's important that we know that, because we're looking for pricing issues in the channel that's going to remove that buy box. Okay. And then top 3 to 5 competitors with their URLs. And the reason you need this is because we can capture a ton of keyword research and things based upon that. All right. So as long as we know who the competitors are, that'll start kind of seeding out how we do keyword research. Okay. Logo files, brand guidelines, any of the stuff that you would normally have if you were developing your website, you need to be doing this on Amazon. Okay. Then we also have proof of ownership. So a lot of times people, when we try to put a product up onto the system, Amazon wants to make sure it's real. And so literally have pictures of this in my hand from all sides to show that it's real. Okay. Again, you have to assume Amazon is figuring that you are trying to do something nefarious. Okay, you're guilty till proven innocent because there's so many bad actors who've kind of ruined it for the honest ones. Okay. Profitability. Okay, making sure we know what that profitability looks like. Trademark files. Invoicing. Okay, so if you make your product at a co-packer, if you're going to register your product, then you have to have invoices to show that you actually buy a reasonable quantity of this stuff. Okay, you can black out the cost and all that stuff. Amazon doesn't need to know that. They just need to know that you buy, more than a bag of Oreos at Walmart. Right? And then when we're in different categories, okay, we have, if we're trying to ship across the US, then we need to make sure that we have an FSVP certification. If we're trying to do caffeine products, like there's all these new requirements that are popping up. Okay, so we just keep kind of adding more and more to that. Now, the product specific info. Why I did that. What was up? And so all the products, 1, 2, 3, 4, name, UPC, NPN, if you have a natural product number, need that. If you want to use a specific SKU number, again, a lot of people are linking SKUs in their Shopify system and the like that they want to keep and maintain, totally fine. Otherwise, it'll just be Amazon's default. And if you have a manufacturing part number. Top reasons why someone would actually buy your product, right? Why you? Uploaded files. So you want to have all your collateral loaded somewhere that can be accessed. So a lot of times we have a shared Google Drive of some kind that will allow us to do product images, lifestyle images, ingredient images, etc. And then GMPs and COAs and FDAs and size of configurations and such. Okay. So all this allows us to lay out the next steps to get a product up there. Okay. So question for Yusuf. Yeah, so we have an hour that we can work through stuff. And so it's more kind of auditing or just, hey, does this product make sense? And how would we make it more profitable? And so we can dive into those things. Yeah, so if you're already listed, then we can use that hour to go through how to improve the listing, right? If you're already listed, again, we can take a look at, do you have all this information that could be pulled, right? So I know, for example, with skincare products, we want to make sure we're showing, if we have an NPN, which, so there's some claims we have to be careful of. If we have a cosmetic number, those things, we want to have that in there. Okay. But certainly, if there is new products that you want to list, which is kind of what this form helps with, is going through and saying, okay, what are the details? What are the things that we need to know so we can go through it? Okay. And there's a bunch of other tabs in here that just help with what you need to do for various items. Okay, so A+ content, sizes, kind of what you can and can't do there. Store onboarding, I just did a link to the actual store spec space because there's so many choices that you can pick. It's a bit much for me to lay out into the A+, like I do with the A+. Pallet shipping instructions. I know a lot of you are going to want to ship pallets in. There's some requirements that they have. If you have a trademark, your lawyer or whatever service you used is going to receive an email. We want to make sure we have that we can put in and use to recognize what you're looking for. Inviting someone to be the brand registrar. Information you need for the trademark registration. How to set up permissions. How to add a user. Okay, so just some blocking and tackling type basics in here as well, just so you have it. And then again, creation stuff down here and product creation for the meat of the product. Okay. So with that, I'm going to stop share for a moment. Okay. So with that, what we want to do is you have those resources. Even if you're on Amazon today, okay, what we want is to capture what you have so we can see how to improve it, okay? If you don't have a product on Amazon today, these are some of the things you want to best practices to capture and use, okay? And so what I want to do is use next little bit to go through, have you guys work through some stuff. I can answer questions on things and kind of make that work. And then, yes, we do launching and managing and all other fun stuff. We can talk about that separately, right? Because what I want to make sure with these sessions is kind of educate, right? What how to do, and even if you are not going to make your own product listing, if you're going to hire somebody to do product listings for you or whatever, knowing what good ones look like is important so that somebody doesn't do a crappy job for you and send you a product that looks like, 3 lines and, a basic title. Okay. So what I will do is figure out breakout room. So let me